Hello and welcome to this TADDM demo. My name is Łukasz Trochanowicz and I will show you new features in virtualization sensors. We have three topics in this presentation. First is System P network mapping, enhancement to HMC sensor. Second is brand new KVM sensor. And third one is virtual center sensor and a few enhancements included in it. First, I will talk about System P network mapping. I will show you business scenarios covered by this enhancement. Then I will move to brief presentation what is discovered, and at the end I will show you this in TADDM. We want to discover relations between client LPARs and physical network adapters. Reason for this is that we want to know which client LPAR will be impacted if a configuration change is made to VIO server's physical network adapter. The second scenario covers the opposite direction. We start from LPAR and we can find out what caused network failure on it. To be able to do that, HMC sensor discovers following information: VLANs configured on server, network adapters on VIOS, both virtual and physical, virtual network adapters on client LPARs, and of course relations between adapters. Here we can see a simple example with 3 LPARs into VLANs served by one BIOS and one physical adapter. Of course, we can handle more complex scenarios like in this example with BIOS redundancy. With TADDM we can verify if our configuration is correct. Now let's move to live TADDM demo. So here we have TADDM with environment discovered. So let's start with topology view. I select System P server, then show VIOS and network mapping topology. And here we can see connections between BIOSes and client LPARs. In the middle there are 2 BIOSes, and on the outside we have client LPARs. Those 3 LPARs don't have network configured, so they are not connected to any BIOS. We can see that each LPAR has 2 connections, one from BIOS 1 and the second from BIOS 2. This means that we have redundancy configured. From this place we can check details of BIOS. Here we have new tab, it's called Network. And we can see all adapter information here. At the bottom we have list of virtual adapters. Here we have one adapter that is connected to internal network. We can see details of this adapter, to what VLANs it is connected, and what short Ethernet adapter it is using. Details for shared adapters are at the top. We can see that this adapter is configured for redundancy, and you can also check what physical device it is using. Now let's check the details of the client LPAR. And here on the tab interfaces, we can see network interfaces listed in the first line and also IP address assigned to this LPAR. This IP address is taken from HMC configuration. This is the address that HMC is using to talk to client LPAR. Now let's move to VLAN's details. So I have to go back to inventory summary. And now select VLANs. And we can see all VLANs that are present in this environment. Now let's move to the reports. Here is the report that will show us physical devices that are supporting virtual LPAR. We have filter for host computer system name. We have only one, so we can leave it as this. And here we provide LPAR ID. And at the end we can see that this LPAR is supported by 2 BIOSes and what physical device is connected to each of the BIOSes. The other report starts at the BIOS and will show us all client LPARs. So hostname again empty, BIOS name with wildcard will use first BIOS, and let's see what's there. And now we have a list of all LPARs supported by this BIOS. This is a list of all LPARs in the environment, as both BIOSes support all LPARs. And that is pretty much all for HMC network mapping. So thank you, and let's move on to the next topic. Now let's talk about new sensor design to discover KVM. I will show you business scenarios covered by this feature, then I will move to brief presentation what is discovered, and at the end I will show this in TADDM. Business scenario is very simple. We have KVM server and we want to discover it with list of guest systems. KVM is discovered through libvirt library and it is supported on Red Hat and SUSE. Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization Manager is not supported for this sensor. Sensor discovers following information for KVM host: version, list of hosting guests, network interfaces configuration, and storage pool details. For guests, we discover information about hardware assigned, that is memory size and number of CPUs. Now let's move to the TADDM. We are in inventory summary view. Now let's move to KVM. We have one KVM discovered. And here are details for it. We have IP of the hosting system, version of software, memory size, and that's pretty much it on the general tab. Next is virtual systems list. We have 3 computer systems here. Third tab, network interfaces. There is one virtual network interface configured for this host. This one. Last information, storage pools. 2 storage pools, one default, one named shared. Let's see the default. We have capacity, remaining space, and we see 3 images for guests located in this data pool. Back to KVM. For virtual systems, we can see also details. We can see that one CPU is assigned to this guest, 500 megabytes of memory, and this guest is shut down. Last topic in this demo is dedicated to Virtual Center Sensor enhancement. We have two new features. First is ASX serial number discovery. This is done through Server Management API located on the ASX. VC sensor can authenticate on ASX without any additional credentials, and then TADDM connects directly to ASX to get serial number. To do such discovery, VC user has to have SIM interaction permission. Second feature is configuration enhancement. Now we can decide if sensor should discover only running guests. Guests that are in power down state can be ignored during discovery. Power state itself is discovered and stored in the database. Now let's see how it looks in TADDM. For the ASX serial number, I can show you only how it looks after discovery. So let's select ASX, check the details, and on General tab we have new row with serial number and its field. Second feature, for guest power state, can be visible here. Let's select some guest, check the details, and power state is visible on General tab at the bottom. This one is running. So how to enable the second feature? We need to change our view to product console. In the Discovery Profiles tab, we create new profile. Now we search Virtual Center Sensor. No, I don't want to add this. Click New, and here is the property. By default, this is true. This enables sensor to work as in previous TADDM releases. So I change it to false. And now I will have only running guests discovered.